Hey everybody, welcome to the first Wacky Wednesday draft. Since this is the inaugural episode of Wacky Wednesday, I do want to do a quick little overview of what this is going to be. This is going to be a draft where I have a stipulation stating how I have to draft, what cards I have to take, and sometimes how my deck has to be built. Currently I have a sheet of about 20 different stipulations. One of those will be randomly chosen before I draft, and that's what I'm going to have to follow. If you have any ideas for stipulations, definitely let me know. At the moment, most of them are taken from the Community Cup Wacky drafts that Wizards of the Coast has done the past few years, and a couple that I've made up myself. But if you have ideas, definitely let me know. One quick stipulation for all of the stipulation drafts is that I'm not currently able to just produce money out of thin air. Maybe someday, but not yet. So if a card does come to me that is pretty valuable, I'm going to say probably about 6 tickets or more, so about 2 packs. I will take that even if it does break the rule. That does break the theme a little bit. I'm sorry for that, but it comes up pretty rarely, I imagine. There's usually only a handful of cards that are worth that much in a set. So odds are that won't happen in most drafts, and if it does, it'll probably be at best 1 card. Otherwise, I will follow the stipulation. So today's stipulation has been chosen, and it is How Now Brown Cow. For anybody who doesn't remember, way back when, before the 8th edition borders came in, artifacts were brown colored borders as opposed to the sort of silvery gray color that we have now. So How Now Brown Cow, this says that you must draft a colorless card or a land that doesn't tap for colored mana if able. That does include, doesn't include any land that searches for colored lands. So specifically with M15, Evolving Wilds doesn't count. But this is an interesting stipulation for M15. M15 has probably a little bit more than average artifacts. There is an artifact theme. There are red cards, blue cards that specifically care about artifacts. Scrapyard Mongrel, Aeronaut Tinkerers, things like that. So this should be kind of interesting. It also should be pretty bad. There's going to be a lot of staves that I'm drafting and a lot of Radiant Fountains and bad colorless cards like that. But there are also good colorless cards. With this stipulation, and as with most stipulations, if there are no cards that fit the rule, I do get to choose the card I want from the pack. So if there are no artifacts, if there are no colorless lands that are following this rule, I do get to pick the best card in the pack, the card that I actually want to play with. So I will hop into the queue momentarily, and we'll get started once the draft begins. Okay, so here we are, pack 1, pick 1. Siege Dragon, not a valuable rare, so I'm not going to be grabbing that. There's lots of stuff here I would love to take. There's Heat Ray, there's Frost Lynx. To a lesser extent, there's Crowd's Favor, which probably you would never first pick, but it's still a good combat trick. Unfortunately, we are doing How Now Brown Cow, so I have to choose from Staff of the Wild Magus or Tyrant's Machine. Not first pickable cards, but that's what we gotta do. The staffs, of course, are just absolutely terrible. You don't want them. Tyrant's Machine, will that end up in my deck? I really hope not, but it's better than the staff for sure, so that's what we have to take here. We got a rare artifact. It's Grind Clock, still not a good choice. We also have Ornithopter and Meteorite. Kind of an interesting pick here. If we want to go full on theme, we could take the Grind Clock and try to somehow draft a controlling deck that uses that as a win condition. But I think I probably just want the mana fixing and small level removal that Meteorite offers. Ornithopter I really don't want to play unless I somehow manage to get some in-soul artifacts. So I think Meteorite's going to be the pick here. Maybe I should be more fun and go with Grind Clocked, but for today, Meteorite. We have a Staff and a Willforged Golem. One of these cards is clearly better than the other. Willforged Golem will absolutely be in my deck. It's probably one of the artifacts I most want to see when doing this stipulation. Profane Memento is the only card we have that follows our rule. Whenever you put a creature card, or whenever a creature card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you gain 1 life. Don't really want to be playing that, but that's what we draft. So I don't want to be playing that, so let's move that over to the sideboard. Tyrant's Machine might make it in. Meteorite will probably make it in because we will have a bad deck. Wolfforged Golem, as I said, for sure is in. It's around this point that I'd really hope to start seeing packs that maybe don't have artifacts, but that's not going to be the case here. We have a Rogue's Gloves. Unfortunately, we also have a Scrapyard Mongrel that I would definitely like to pick up, but for this pick, we have no choice. It's got to be Rogue's Gloves. And I see they still haven't fixed the missing art bug on this client. So one problem I think we're going to have with this stipulation is that I think we're going to be short on creatures. Other than Willforged Golem and maybe Bronze Sables, we're not going to pick up all that much. But here we actually have a pack where we don't have to draft an artifact. There's a colorless land, but it taps for colored mana, so it's not part of the rule. As I said, there's a Scrapyard Mongrel, and I'd really like to have that because I am absolutely going to be playing some artifacts. Other than that, we have not much. Nothing on the same power level as the Mongrel. So I think that's what we're going to go for. So here we have a Staff or a Bronze Sable. We have a White Paragon that I would love to have. We have an Aeronaut Tinkerer, which I would love to have in an artifact deck. We can't take those, however. As always, anything is better than a Staff. So we're going to take Bronze Sable. And I doubt we'll play these Rogue's Gloves, so we can probably toss those over. No artifacts, we get a choice. So I'd really like to go red, so there's a Thundering Giant and a Forge Devil. Sunblade Elf, probably the best card in the pack, but I don't know how likely it is that I'm going to be able to force green-white. Johnny's Pridemate would be really interesting with the number of staffs that I might end up with. But I think I want to try to cut red as much as I can possibly do, so I think I might take the Thundering Giant. It's also a big creature, and I'm worried that I may not end up with too many big creatures. And here is one of those staffs. Finally, I have to take it. What else would I like from this pack? Crowd's favor, since I'm going to try to be red. Other than that, not much. So staff it is, and over to the sideboard it goes. Ornithopter, our choice. It's the only artifact here. Probably not going to play it unless I happen upon the Insole artifact that nobody picks before any other artifacts in the pack. Another staff that we have to take. Off it goes. So we have 6 quote-unquote playables from pack 1. Not good. Here we have some choices. We've got a couple of red cards. An Oppressive Raise. Oppressive Raise might slow our opponent down enough, but maybe I just want to stay red. Lava Axe, never really a good card, but I may as well go for it here, I suppose. Keeps me red, doesn't push me off into another color that might suddenly disappear. Not a good choice, but, you know, this series is not about good choices, it's about entertaining choices. That's a late Charging Rhino. Wow. So I'm definitely going to go for the Charging Rhino. Maybe green is somehow open still? Helios Pilgrim, I'm probably not going to end up with an enchantment, so we're not going to take it. Here's First Response, not a great card, so we're going to toss that over there. How did I end up with an island? Why did I get island instead of Charging Rhino? That might have been bugged. I'll have to look into that after. So this pack, we have a foil rare, a Sliver Hive. Is that worth anything? I know it is in paper, but no, it's not worth anything online. So artifact-wise, we have nothing. So Sliver Hive does tap for colored mana if you use a sliver, so that doesn't count. So we actually get our choice here. It'd be nice if there was a better rare than Life's Legacy. We have Generator Servant for red. We have Zathrid's Slyblade, which is quite nice. Naresco Swift Claw. Welkin turn if I want to try to be aggressive, but I don't think I'm going to be aggressive. So I might want to go with a slightly more controlling Zathrid's Slyblade. There is a Tinkerer, but I think these other cards are probably a bit more powerful than it. So I'm going to take this rare opportunity to take this Slyblade. We have Hot Soup and a Willforged Golem. I will take another Willforged Golem. What do we have here? We have no artifacts. No artifacts, so I get a choice. Belligerent Sliver's on color and a pretty good creature. Inferno Fist is a good enchantment. I'm worried about my creature amount, so I don't know if I want to go for auras, even though I would say that Inferno Fist is better than Belligerent Sliver. We have a Sanctified Charge, but I really don't know if I'm going to be able to end up in white. I'd like to get as much of two colors as possible. If this was a serious draft, I'd probably take the Sanctified Charge. But as it is, I'm worried about our future packs, so I think I'm going to stay on the red plan. I've got 6 playable creatures at the moment. Yeah, I don't know if this is the right choice here, but I will take the Belligerent Sliver over the Inferno Fist. Nothing else in the pack I terribly want. What do we have here? We have an Evolving Wilds, which doesn't count because it searches for colored mana, so we get a choice again. In red, we've got a Goblin Rough Rider. Better than that, we have a Wall of Frost, which would hold off, which I probably desperately need to do in this deck. We have a Child of the Night to be a little bit more aggressive. We have an Elvish Mystic to ramp us. We still haven't really chosen a second color, except for possibly that Slyblade. Maybe I want to try to get a bit more black. So do I want the Child of Night? Yeah, I think I'll take the Child of Night and just try to be red-black here. Let's see. We have no artifacts again. I wonder if somebody else is doing the stipulation here. We've got a Scrapyard Mongrel, which of course is right on theme and a good, powerful creature for us. Other than that, we have not too much. Master Predicaments is interesting, but I'm not going to have powerful cards that I'm going to want to jam out. And I don't know if I would go blue or not. It might suggest that blue is open in this pack. We did get a Wall of Frost passed. I think I'll just stay on the red plan because I never know when my choices are going to dry up and I'm just getting staff after staff after staff. So Scrapyard Mongrel is the pick here. And there's a staff or a Radiant Fountain. Neither are good. Wouldn't have minded that Rummaging Goblin. But we're going to go with one of these. Who knows which. I already have a Staff of the Wild. I have 2 Staffs of the Wild Magus. Let's go for a Radiant Fountain just for variety. Another Staff of the Mind Magus this time. We have to take that. There's nothing else in the pack. Alright, we get another choice. So, no black, no red. That's not great. So, Undergrowth Scavenger, Shaman of Spring, probably more powerful than the rest here. Fester Gloom is on color. I guess it would only hit my Bronze Sable. So that might actually be a pick. It's good tech against Triplicate Spirits or anything like that. And there are a fair number of 1-powered creatures in this set as well. So I think I will take Fester Gloom here. No artifacts, so I get a choice. I'm perfectly happy with Leeching Sliver. 2 mana, or sorry, my Fester Gloom doesn't hit Child of Night. Child of Night is a black creature. Leeching Sliver is easily the pick here. Maybe I should have gone blue. I could have gotten this Aeronaut Tinkerer that has wheeled, but we'll take this Leeching Sliver. So yet again, another pick. Crippling Blight is our only on-color card. Don't terribly want to go into any other color this late, so we'll take Crippling Blight. Necromancer's Assistant. That mills you when it comes into play for 3. I don't terribly want to be doing that. My overall deck power is going to be pretty low, so I don't really want to be throwing anything away. I'll take it. I don't really want to hate anything else here, so I will just take that and pop that over to the sideboard. Foundry Street Denizen, probably the pick here. As I said in my last video, I don't like act on impulse at all, and we're not blue, and it's not terribly a great card anyways. Foundry Street Denizen's not a great card, but it's a creature, it goes in our deck, so let's get that. No real pick here. Destroy target artifact. Well, that kind of hurts me, so let's get rid of that. Another staff. And a forest. I'm still wondering about how I ended up with that island. I swear that pack was a charging rhino and something else. Maybe I clicked wrong. I'll have to review the video. Maybe there was a bug. Who knows? We've got an on-color, or sorry, that's not on-color at all. I was thinking I was in green after that charging rhino. Fighter Titan's not a choice. So we've got Juggernaut, and we've got Staff of the Death Magus. Not really a difficult pick here at all. We'll take the Juggernaut. It's a big creature. Hopefully we can just power through with it. Artifacts everywhere. We've got Darksteel Citadel, Staff of the Sun Magus, Tormod's Crypt, and that's about it. All three uncommons are artifacts. We're not going to play Staff of the Sun Magus. We're not going to play Tormod's Crypt. We're not going to play Darksteel Citadel. But let's take the Citadel. What do we have here? We have no artifacts. So yet again, my choice. Shrapnel Blast. That's right on theme. Destroy an artifact to deal 5 damage to target creature or player. That is definitely what I want to see in a deck like this. Otherwise, we have an Ulcerate, which is a bit of removal. This is better removal. I can blow up my Tyrant's Machine. I can blow up my Meteorite late in the game. If I really want to, I can blow up my Bronze Sable. Generator Servant. Don't terribly need it. I don't think I'm going to really need to power out any of my higher cost creatures. Goblin Rough Rider. Hopefully I can see one of those in these last few picks here. So we're going to go with the Shrapnel Blast here. We've got a Scrapyard Mongrel, unfortunately, sitting beside a Tyrant's Machine. But we also have a Willforged Golem. I guess we can go for a third Willforged Golem. Hopefully we can convoke those out a little bit faster. This pack, we are presented with no artifacts. That's always good to see. On color, we've got a Miner's Bane, a Rot Feaster Maggot, and a card I'm not going to pick, and another card I'm not going to pick. So, Rot Feaster Maggot or Miner's Bane. Miner's Bane is a 6-drop. We already have 3 6-drops, although they will hopefully be cheaper with Convoke. Its ability is not that great. It's pretty low toughness too, 6/3. That dies to not a lot in this set. A lot of things have 2 power, but it does die to things. It dies to Lightning Bolt. Rot Feaster Maggot, almost the reverse, 3/5. And maybe I can actually knock something out. You gain life equal to toughness, so maybe that'll be good if I have one of my Willforged Golems die, or they have a big creature die somehow. So let's go with Rot Feaster Maggot. Let's see, we have, again, no artifacts. I was really expecting there to be more staffs and more things like that kicking around. So we've got another Belligerent Sliver. Which might actually be nice with the Leeching Sliver as well. Definitely better than the Lava Axe and Rummaging Goblin and another Rot Feaster Maggot, so we'll take that. Back to artifacts. Staff of the Death Magus, Ornithopter. Neither are going in the deck. Let's continue my Ornithopter collection. Brawler's Plate, Tyrant's Machine. I've already got 2 Tyrant's Machine. I don't think I'll be playing more than one of them. We need 2 more playables. If I have to, I'd play Brawler's Plate. It's a target for Shrapnel Blast. It turns on Scrapyard Mongrel, so let's go for that. And a staff. And away it goes. And a staff. Let's go for Tormod's Crypt this time. Maybe in some strange matchup I'll want to play that to get rid of all their cards in their graveyard. Maybe if they're playing black and using on Make the Graves or Endless Obedience or something like that. So I think Sign of Blood's going to be the pick here. I don't terribly like Endless Obedience. It's a creature from your graveyard. I don't really know what I'm going to desperately want to bring back. At best, I guess Juggernaut maybe, but nothing really that I want to bring back. So we'll go with Sign in Blood. Gets me some card draw. Nothing really to pick here, nothing I'm really upset about playing against either, so let's just take the big creature. Nothing again that I really need or could use at all. Boonweaver Giant's probably a bit more frightening than Glacial Crasher. I don't want any Boonweaver Giant Spectre Ward business going on, so let's get that out. Tireless Missionaries, sure, and a Forest. So we actually have a deck. It's not the best deck I've ever made, but it's also probably not the worst. I think I might be able to do something here. We have 15 creatures, which is way more than I ever expected to get. We have actually mildly useful artifacts, which I didn't terribly expect. Not terribly happy with this Lava Axe, but I don't know if there's anything I really want to replace it with. Necromancer's Assistant is not going in. Ornithopter's not going in. Stave's not going in. Look at all those staves. Rogue's Gloves is Curiosity, basically. Whenever it deals damage, you draw a card. Not going in. Maybe it would be good on Belligerent Sliver or something, but I think I'm happy as is. Maybe I get to surprise some people with, you know, surprise Lava Axe here at 5. So I think that's what we'll go with. The nice thing playing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice thing about playing 8 artifacts is we're not going to be hurting for specific colors of mana, which is quite nice. So let's get some lands added in here. 9, 8. Yeah, that sounds good to me. 9, 8, and submit the deck. So that's the deck. I'm surprisingly happy with it. Oh, unexpected error with your deck submission. Please log out. Well, I will attend to that and see if we actually are